Today's video is all about how to start a blog that makes money, and it is my most requested video ever. So I'm really excited to film it. I started my website 4 years ago, and we are now consistently making over $75,000 a month on it. And we are a team of 6 of us working on it. So it is now a full-fledged business, which is awesome. However, when I started my website 4 years ago, I was a sophomore in college. I was doing it out of my dorm room while juggling being a full-time student. I just graduated last year, so for the first 3 years of my blog, I was a full-time student and working full-time on my blog. And through that, I have a ton of strategies and tips that I use to skyrocket my blogging business into earning money. And when I say strategy, I'm telling you, I was so strategic about every single thing that I did on my website. And so I'm telling you the things that I did, what I focused on every single year, and I know it's gonna be insanely helpful for you because these are the things that I wish that I would have known when I was first starting, and it would have saved me a lot of time. So what I think is so cool that I have done is that I actually filmed a similar video to this for the last 2 years. So I have one that's how I started a blog that makes $9,000 a month. Last year I filmed the one that was how I started a blog that makes $30,000 a month. And then this year is how I started a blog that makes $75,000 a month. And all of those videos, including this one, are jam-packed with information. I highly recommend that you go watch all of those after you watch this one. And the reason is that it is so interesting to see my progression and the tips that I'm giving out. Some of them are exactly the same, the things that I strongly believe that you need to do that are like crucial to starting a successful money-making blog, the things that have changed, how technology has changed, everything's changing. So to be able to see that progression is extremely interesting and helpful. And then also on my website, I have a blog post that goes step by step through exactly how I started my website. So what website host I'm on, how I designed my website, literally everything is on that post. So I'm gonna link that in the description. It's one of my most popular posts on my website and will be extremely helpful for you if you are starting from ground zero and are wanting to start a blog that makes money. Not a lot of people know how strategic you need to be in actually starting a website, because there's a difference between a hobby blog and a blog that wants to make money. So this is definitely the video for you if you're looking for it not to be a hobby blog, for it to actually be a blog that makes you money, can be successful, you know, etc. So how I'm gonna make this video different is the last 2 videos were really giving my tips on how to start a money-making blog. This video is going to be going through exactly what I focused on year 1, and then year 2, and then year 3, and then year 4. So for me, I am a planner, and I also am a person that likes to stay on track, which I think is so important with the blog because your mind is going a million different places on what you need to do. So something that helped me like an insane amount is that every single year I would pick 1 or 2 or 3 things that I would focus on, and I would dive hard into those things, and those were all surrounded around different ways that I could grow my blog into making money, and it has been extremely successful for me. So I am going to, like I said, go year by year on what you should be focusing on. This will be helpful for the brand new blogger that hasn't even started. I'm telling you, if I would have known these things when I first started, it would have made my life a whole lot easier. So I know it will for you too. And then it will be helpful for even the person that has a more successful blog, because I'm going to be talking about, you know, all that in between stuff and then what I do now. First up, you need to actually get your blog up and running, and that is easier said than done. And there are crucial things that you need to know that you have to do if you are starting a serious blog that you want to make money on. First up is you need to start a self-hosted WordPress blog. This is insanely important. And I did a really good job of explaining why this is so important in my last video, so how I made $30,000 a month blogging. So if you want a more in-depth description on why this is so important, then go check that out. But I'm gonna keep this short and simple. So basically you have a self-hosted blog and then you have a hosted blog. A hosted blog is places like Blogspot, Squarespace, Wix, basically anything that would be like bysophialee.blogspot.com. Whereas a self-hosted website is where you would have like bysophialee.com, you know, whatever your website is, name.com. The reason why you don't want to have a hosted website is because two reasons. You don't own that website. So technically, they could shut it down at any moment. All of your work could be lost. That would be devastating. But more importantly is that when you are applying for brand partnerships or ad agencies are the biggest thing in the future, they will specifically ask you if you have a self-hosted WordPress blog. It's so important. It makes you look way more legit and professional, and it's extremely easy to do. So what I did to start my self-hosted WordPress website is that I used the host called Bluehost, and the reason that I used them is because they were dirt cheap. And it was like $3 a month. I was a broke college student, so I needed something that was extremely inexpensive, but would really help me. So now that I've used Bluehost, I used Bluehost for the first like 2.5 years. I highly recommend them. I'll have a link in the description that you can go like see what it's all about and how it works. But they are awesome. I would message them all of the time. They were probably so sick of me, but their customer service is amazing. And they're basically like, I always explain it like Bluehost is like the Walmart version of hosting. So it's really inexpensive. It does the job. When I started getting a lot more views, so like after I started getting 200,000 views a month, which will take a hot second for you to get to, then I went to Big Scouts or Big Scoots. I don't know which one it is. The reason that I don't recommend them right away is because, let me tell you, I pay hundreds of dollars a month for them. Whereas the Bluehost was $3 a month. Now I'm paying hundreds of dollars a month, which it makes sense now because I'm making so much more money. But in the beginning, don't do it. Go with Bluehost, and that will get you started on a WordPress blog. That is so important. The next thing that is so important, and I especially think that this is important, is that your website needs to look professional. How do you get a professional website if you are not a website designer? It is so easy. This is a trick that bloggers use all the time, website owners, and that is to buy a theme. You can buy really expensive themes, or you could buy really cheap themes. So obviously, like I've said, I was broke and a college student, so I needed a very cheap theme. I ended up getting my first website theme on 17th Avenue Designs. That will also be linked in the description. Actually, like every single thing that I recommend for blogging. Once you're done with this video, I just have like a bysophialee.com/blogging page that has everything with like free printables, how I make money on my website, my top or like 75 different blog post title ideas, literally everything. So definitely go check that out. But I used 17th Avenue Designs for my first website theme. I paid a little bit of extra money for them to set it up for me. And I used that WordPress theme for like 3.5 years. So I ended up just last fall getting a custom design website that cost thousands of dollars, which is why I recommend that you go through 17th Avenue Designs, or Etsy has a ton of very cheap themes for like $10. So I know that if you go to Etsy and then you search WordPress themes, a lot of different options will come up. There's feminine ones, there's more, I don't want to say guyish ones because they're not, but you know, anyone can use any theme. But there's just a ton of different options for you to get the look that you want for your website. I know for me, if I go to a website and it looks like it was put together by a 3-year-old, I am not going to take it seriously, where if I go to a website that looks professionally designed, it looks a lot more legit to me. And so I take it a lot more serious. I look at the content. More importantly, not more importantly, but you know what I mean. Like, it is just a big deal to have a website that looks legit. And that's the easiest way by far of getting there. Can you now understand what I mean by how it is very hard to start to get your blog up and running? But just do it, go for it. I promise you it'll pay off in the future if you put the work into it. The second thing that I focused on that first year of blogging was blogging courses. And I truly believe that me taking blogging courses that first year was one of the biggest things that I did to grow my website. And I always go back to the quote, don't reinvent the wheel, just make it your own, or it's like something like that. I definitely said that wrong, but like you get the idea. And so I saved myself months of work by taking other bloggers' courses that were already seeing extreme success in whatever I was trying to learn, whether it was a Pinterest strategy or how to write blog posts or email lists. Every single thing that I wanted to learn for my blog, I took a blogging course. And this was a tip that I learned from another blogger. And basically she said, and what I said too, like now that I've done it, is that when you're trying to learn something for your website, it takes months of trial and error of testing things out. Whereas you can go spend a little bit of money, and obviously there are cheaper courses and more expensive courses, and I started out taking the cheaper courses. As my blog started getting money, I would reinvest in the more expensive courses. But instead of spending those months trying to learn how to do something that I wanted to do, I would take this course which would show me exactly how I could do it. I would copy the strategy with my own content, I would make it my own, and then I would see success. And that saved me so much time. I'm telling you, I would still probably be learning things if I was trying to do it on my own. So invest the money in the courses. It'll pay off big time in the future. I have a whole list of courses that I personally have taken that will also be in the description box. Basically everything will be there, or on my website. So you can see what I've done, but that will be, that saved me so much time. And lastly, can you tell that the first year is just very long process? But the last thing that I focused on that first year of blogging is getting into an ad agency. And I knew if I could get into an ad agency, that's when I would really start actually making money. And to get into an ad agency, you need to get page views. So there's ad agencies like Google Ads that is pretty easy to get into. When I was starting my blog, it was extremely easy to get into. Now I've learned that it's harder and that you have to get accepted into the program. But I know it's the easiest one you can get into, but you really don't make that much money on it. The ad agencies that you want to get into is like Mediavine and AdThrive. So those are what I'm in Mediavine, and I make really good money off of Mediavine, like tens of thousands of dollars. But to get into Mediavine, you need to have a certain number of page views. So when I was doing it was 25,000. Now it's 50,000 page views a month. I actually didn't get sessions, but they're like very similar. And to get page views, you have to get people on your website. This is something that I did that I majorly harp on. And you can get page views a lot of different ways. I'm telling you, the absolute best way to get people on your website is to get your content on Pinterest. Pinterest is the only social media that I had for the first 3.5 years of my blog, which is insane. I didn't have Instagram. I didn't have YouTube. I just launched my Instagram and YouTube last year when I was already making $30,000 a month on my website. So that just tells you, well, one, that shows how strategic I was, because Instagram and YouTube actually helps me get more page views. Instagram barely gets me any page views to my website. But now that I'm on Instagram, I spend 25% of my time focused a week on Instagram, which is insane. I'm gonna get to this later in year 3 because that's when I did it. So I'm just gonna kind of stop talking about this right now. But moral of this all is that Pinterest is the only social media that people go to specifically go to someone's website. And so we wanna capitalize on that. And there's specific things that you can do to get your pins ranking on Pinterest, how you design your pins, how you make them look, how you write, just everything. There's so much strategy behind it. I wrote a Pinterest course on exactly my Pinterest strategy. I now get like hundreds and thousands, like literally like 600,000 page views a month from Pinterest. That, you know, so Pinterest makes me a lot of money. And I have a course that tells you every single thing that I do for it. You can also Google it, self-research if you don't want to spend money on a course. But moral of it all, get on Pinterest. It is the easiest way in the beginning to get those page views, so then you can go and apply to an ad agency to actually start making money. We're now on to year 2, and if you can get to year 2, you will start seeing the benefits. So year 1, I treated it like a full-time job. I would get up, I was insane. I don't even know how I did it, but I would get up at like 5:30 a.m. in the morning. I would work on my blog until I had classes. I would go to my actual job because I needed to make money. I was paying for college by myself. And then I would come home at night and I would work on my blog even more. And I did that for months and months and months, which when you say a year, it seems like a short amount of time. But when you're actually in it and you're not making money from it and it seems like you're doing all this for nothing, it can be really, really tough. So kudos to you if you get to year 2. That is huge. So year 2 is a little simpler. I'm gonna try to keep it shorter. And I focused on 2 things. So 2 things in year 2. The first thing that I focused on was affiliate marketing. So affiliate marketing is when you go and link something in your blog post, and then if someone goes and purchases it, you get a small commission. For example, if I link a set of sheets that I love and use on my website from Amazon, and then someone goes to Amazon in the next 24 hours, if they buy anything on Amazon, I get a small commission of that. And it is very, very, very small, but when you are getting thousands of page views, that can really, really add up. So I put a huge focus into affiliate marketing. I hardcore studied the posts that were picking up that first year. So I would go into my Google Analytics and I would see what is the most popular post that I wrote. And then I would figure out, okay, if that one's popular, then I'm sure this is a similar post. So that's gonna be similar. How can I make this work for affiliate marketing? Which leads me to my next thing. Let me tell you that people are not stupid. You are not stupid. I am not stupid. And one thing that I learned very, very, very quickly were the posts that were all about the reader did 1,000,000 times better than the posts that were about me. And it's very easy to make a post about you and do a post about them, and it will convert 1,000,000 times better. So I always, always, always say, nobody cares about you. They only care about them. So when I was writing these posts and I was focusing on affiliate marketing, I continually said that in my brain 24/7 because, like I said, we're not stupid. And if you are on a website, you can tell if they are writing a post strictly to make money. And they won't buy it. I know I don't want to buy stuff when I look at a post that I can tell someone is doing, or a blog that someone's doing strictly to make money. You need to make your post more helpful than any other post on that topic on the internet. If you go to our blog posts, I and my team make sure that what we are putting out there is the absolute best post for that topic on the internet. So we have free printables. We offer oodles and oodles of information. We test products. We go into every post making it as helpful as possible, which then in turn makes our affiliate marketing not salesy, which is what you want because that's what will get people buying things. And then the second thing that we focused on is SEO. So SEO is search engine optimization, and search engine optimization is the strategic things that you do in your blog posts so that you can rank on Google. For example, if you're searching healthy dinner ideas on Google, you want to be one of those first websites shown. And something that I didn't know when I was first starting my website or getting into this blogging world is that everything that you do on your website, you need to do for SEO. So like literally every single thing, from the pictures you choose, how you write your titles, the amount of words in your post, everything you do needs to be written for SEO, and that will help with Pinterest too. So a little plug, I have 2 courses, the Pinterest course that I already talked about, and then it's called Perfecting Blogging, and that shows how I do my SEO and how I pick my blog posts and everything that entails for SEO. I have that written out. The reason why I wanted to focus on SEO is because all of my eggs were in Pinterest. Well, shit, what happens if Pinterest decides to block me one day? I would have been screwed. So I needed to start distributing out my content so that, knock on wood, like literally, knock on wood, that never happens. But if it was to happen, I would be fine. And so now I am so happy to say that our traffic is almost exactly 50% on Google and 50% on Pinterest, which is the goal and is awesome. So yeah, that second year I focused on affiliate marketing and then getting my posts on Google and just figuring out how to write all of those. Year 3 was a big one for me and my blog. It was my senior year of college. I was making really good money, especially as a college student. My posts were ranking on Google and Pinterest extremely well, and people were starting to care more about me. So like I said, when you first started your blog, no one gives 2 rips about you. They only care about themselves. Whereas now, people have started to become more interested in me, which is like where you'll see that happening. It just happens. So during year 3, I focused a ton on my email list and growing that. I also launched my Instagram and YouTube, and year 3 was the year that I started hiring on employees for BSL. So I'll start with the email list and what we're doing for that. I just knew from researching other big bloggers that having an email list is extremely important to having a successful blog. And the reason for that is that you own your email list. And so instead of someone coming to your website one time, if you can get someone on your website to then opt into your email list, then you can continue emailing them your content, sales, etc. for years. So, one versus every week for years. And as you know, probably being on an email list can be really, really annoying. So we took the approach, just like we do with everything else on our website, that if someone is joining our email list, we have to make it worth their while. When they see an email pop up from me in their email list, then they know it's going to be helpful and that they want to click on it. And we also knew that to get someone on our email list, we had to give them something. So if you are trying to start an email list and you're just putting on your website, click here to join our newsletter, I'm telling you, no one will join it. Or maybe like your mom and your sister. No one else will join it. There is no incentive for them to go on someone's email list if that's how they're doing it. So what we do is we offer free printables, free guides. Like even if you go to our website or my website and go to www.bysophialee.com/blogging, I'll have that linked below, you will be able to see all of the free stuff that we offer when you join our email list. And any post you have, like one thing that I should have probably said earlier is that my blog isn't about blogging. I just created a few videos where I was like trying to help people out because I would get 1 million emails a day. And so now I have more stuff on blogging, but my blog is about decorating, organizing, cleaning, not about blogging. And so if you go to my other posts, you'll be able to see that we have free printables that people can opt into and they get put on our email list. Another thing I will say, all of our content, all of our free printables are fully copyrighted. Don't copy them. It is so annoying. Can you imagine if you work extremely, extremely hard on your website and then you go see someone copying them? It's like the most annoying feeling ever, and we will contact our lawyers. I don't want to sound like a B word, but that's happened a few times, and it's just so frustrating. So anyways, but you'll be able to see the different free printables that we have, how we use them. I think the blogging one obviously will be most applicable for you, but yeah, we have been growing our email list. We started out, I think in year 3, we started out like 15,000, and now we're on year 4 and we're at 120,000. So we're very steadily growing. It's awesome. And it is so intense. But our email host is ConvertKit, and we are planning on switching from them because it is so dang expensive. It costs us $1,000 a month just to have our emails there, which is insane. And there's cheaper ones that we can do. So we're actually working on switching right now because our email list is so large and it is so intense what we do. Our sequences that we have set up are incredibly intense and complicated. We have to be very careful with this whole switching the email because if something goes wrong, that is the big part of our business. So that would just not be a good thing at all. But I will update you on the website with what email host we decide to go with, if we're liking them, if we wish we didn't switch, you know, all the things. Another thing we did during year 3, which was a huge thing, was we launched social media. So I launched my Instagram and my YouTube on the same day. The reason that I launched my Instagram and my YouTube, and why it depends on what you want to do with your blog, whether you have to launch social medias or not, is because my niche is home decor. And I knew that for my career, I want to be known as an interior designer. I want to be designing homes. I needed to form a connection with my readers to get people to like me and want to watch my stuff, where that is really, really hard to do if you are behind the screen. So when I was in college and I was writing a lot about college dorm decor and stuff, it was easy for me to just be on Pinterest. And I was so successful just being on Pinterest. But now that we're growing the business and expanding into it, it was important that I also got on Instagram and social media, or Instagram and YouTube. Plus, even to this day, we barely work with brands, but in the future, we hope to work with brands a lot more, and you need to have social medias for that. So I just launched last year, both of those on the same day, like I said. In 1 year, I was able to grow my Instagram to almost 20,000 followers, and then YouTube is at 75,000 followers. So that is awesome. However, I put 25%, I probably spend 25% or more a week focused on Instagram and YouTube, which has been kind of a hard transition just because I already was working full-time hours, even more than full-time hours before when I was just on Pinterest. So to add that in has been difficult, which is where like employees come in because they can do things like I have to be the one that does the Instagram and YouTube because I'm the face of it. And so then like the other team members can do more of the behind the scenes stuff that I don't actually have to do. But it's still been a hard transition. So I have been very strategic, just like everything else, with how I've been able to grow the YouTube and Instagram. I'm still so new at it that I don't feel like I am qualified enough yet to speak about it. But when I do, which I think will be sooner than later, I will do a video or a course or something on how I grow my Instagram and how I'm growing my YouTube account. But those have been, what I have found is that Instagram brings no traffic to my website. It really doesn't. Like, the traffic that it brings to my website is so minimal, but I have formed such an intense connection with my followers. I story every day. Every single day I show up on Instagram, which is exhausting, but you have to do it. You cannot be willy-nilly with it. You have to show up every single day. And then YouTube, we get at least one video up a week. At least, usually 2. So it's just staying consistent and making sure, consistency is key with blogging. And year 4. Okay, this is like the longest video ever. But year 4 is the year that we're currently in right now. And this year has been intense. It has been an amazing year for our business. We are really, really growing it, and it has been so much fun, but also it's been scary. Very, very scary. We got an office, so we're now in an office, which is so exciting. And well, let me just tell you what we did. Okay, so the beginning of the first half of year 4, I spent 95% of my time. Okay, well, I just said 25%. You get it. 75% of my time writing courses. I wrote courses for 2 reasons. One, I was getting 100 emails a day on blogging and how I do my blog, my Pinterest strategy, how I do my SEO. I could not keep up. And I literally couldn't keep up. So I wrote a course on all of those things. So I have a course on perfecting Pinterest, which is my Pinterest strategy. It is everything. I break down everything that I do on Pinterest I get over 10 million impressions a month. I get over 600,000 page views a month from Pinterest. I do everything so specifically on Pinterest, and it goes over every single thing. And then I have perfecting blogging, which is the blogging side of things. So exactly how I keyworded my website, how I write my posts, how I choose what posts to write, how I write titles that people will click on. Like, it's so strategic. I know I keep saying that it's annoying, but if you're in blogging, you understand how strategic it really is. And so I go over everything. These courses were a bitch to write. I mean, to get all the information down on it is super, super hard. I hated my life for those 4 months that I was doing it, but they are doing so well. And so I'm so happy about that. The feedback that we get is unreal. I honestly can't believe how amazing people have taken on to the courses. Like, you should just see the reviews. They're so nice and exciting. But that also gave us passive income. And so passive income is huge because passive income is money that you can make. Blogging is a lot of passive income. It's like basically all passive income, but it's that upfront work that you do to then go make money in the future. So during those 4 months that I was writing the courses, it's all I did 24/7. But now that those courses are written, I really just have to go in every once in a while and update them whenever we change anything, which they're always updated. People ask me, they are always updated. Whenever I change something, the course is the first one to know. But that makes us a lot of money, and now that it's done, I really don't have to do too much with it, which is nice. Because we got into the design part of our business, which is the main part of our business, and we're starting to invest in homes. We have a production crew filming us for the homes. It is just a lot more intense. So the first 3 years, my overhead expenses were so low. Now, this year especially, I'm being risky. I'm betting a lot on myself. I'm spending a lot of money. We got our first tangible products. I'm looking over, I should just show you. We are doing a college planner, or like really it's a planner for anyone, but it's our first tangible, actual product. We designed every single thing on it. So like literally from the page weight to the front cover to the gold color on the binding, every single thing, all the pages we did. Basically year 4, I'm kind of like, I'm still in year 4, so like everything's still up in the air and figuring it out. But year 4 has been the year of learning. I am learning every single day. Most days I feel like an idiot because I'm learning so much and I just don't know things, which is why Google and YouTube are your best friend. If you have any questions on blogging, Google or YouTube it. For these planners, I Googled YouTube everything. We bought, like I said, we bought the house. that we're flipping, I am Googling everything. Like seriously, every single thing. I'm YouTubing and Googling it. And yeah, so I'm gonna need to update you on year 4. Like I said, we're being risky. And so I'm kind of going into the mindset of it. Like if I don't do these things, I am going to look back and think, why didn't I do those things? But I'm also like, not that I think I'm gonna fail, because I know I'm not gonna fail. I know that this is gonna be successful, but I'm trying to be easier on myself just because, I don't know, you'll understand. And if you're in blogging, you understand. It's hard. You're putting yourself out there on the internet. People give you feedback every single day. And so it's just learning. So I'll have to re-update you. But basically, year 4 has been all about courses, tangible products, and getting into investment properties with the home flip. So that's really it. Which, when I say that's it, this is probably going to be like an hour-long video. I hope not. I hope we can get it down to like 30 minutes. But I hope that that was really, really helpful for you. Like I said, I have the courses that goes through every single thing that you need to know to start a successful blog. Successful blog. I have the step-by-step guide that is free on my website that shows you like literally step-by-step on how I legitimately started my website and got it up and running. I have free guides. I have all of those other courses that I've taken from other people. Every single thing will be in the description box and on my website. It is supposed to be as helpful for you as possible. And so I really hope it was helpful for you. If you have any blogging questions, send them to blogging@bysophialee.com. I'll try to get back to them as soon as possible. And then, I should probably finish up on this last thing. So I started this new channel, which is By Sophia Lee Blogging, whereas before I put the other videos on my old channel. That was because I hated, like, I've said this a million times, but our niche is decorating. And so to have the 2 different niches on that channel was very confusing for YouTube analytics. And so now that we have this YouTube blogging, now I am going to be a lot more comfortable posting more about blogging because it doesn't interrupt our other videos, which was like a major concern of mine. So I'm gonna come up here every single month, post a new video about blogging. So subscribe to this channel if you're interested in blogging. I try to keep everything as helpful as possible. I really do. And just things that I wish I would have known when I was first starting out, because it's scary and it's intimidating and it's hard. So anything that I can do to make your life easier, I hope it is. And I'm trying. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. Go check out the website. And I hope you have a great day.